Butterflies fill my spine, I feel myself getting hot again. Nerves rushing through my brain, yeah, they can't hear fiber from the trees. You're standing by his side, red drops burning down your face. You're real close now, baby. Holy fuck, I feel it with you. I lose self-control. Now I found that you're not one to hear me now. You got me on my knees begging for you later. And like a fool to stand around and let you blame me. And I'm riding in the sky to the earth second
Hi, my name is Leo Connors, and welcome to the ring and all other sports.
Welcome to TV, kid. Welcome to TV.
I don't even know the name of the show. No, tonight I got two special guests. This episode was supposed to happen over 150 episodes ago.
Wow.
Maverick Wild, Ripper Morrison, the feuds of New England.
Hey, finally going back to that, huh?
Yeah, well, we're not really, but we're going to talk about, because that's kind of over now, you know. But,
Sure.
but you had something to say? You want to say about Rob?
Oh,
Rob Vett?
yeah. Speaking of feuds, I mean, I first started working with him when he was in a tag team called the Boston Bulldogs.
Yes.
And his tag team partner was Rob Vett.
Yeah.
And
Johnny Royal.
Johnny Royal. Johnny's had some major health problems recently. Diabetes. He's had a more major heart attack a while ago, but I guess just over the weekend he had a mild heart attack.
Right.
He's I believe he went home today actually, so it wasn't a huge stay. But Johnny, we're thinking of you. I love you, baby. You know, I always have.
No doubt. Got to get you on here before 500 too,
Yes.
so you'll be back. All right, guys.
He means before I hit 500. I'm gaining a lot of weight.
All right, listen. Fan questions. Yeah, he does have one question in here. Larry Huntley.
Larry Huntley. Okay.
Two of the guys I really look up to. Thank you for helping me. Here's my. So it's your fault.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, just kidding, Larry. I love it.
You took the blame on that
Here's
one.
my question. Wouldn't you like to come back to do a final match, a 6-man match? Just kidding. Much respect. Thank you for everything you have done for New England wrestling. Now, I thought he was going to ask you guys to team with him in a 6-man at Geno's.
I don't know how Rip feels about this, but I think there's a big difference between would like to and are able to.
Right.
Yeah, tell you what. You give me 6 months with ring access, no pain meds, new knees, new shoulders, new hip, and I'll be there.
Somebody else will wrestle for you.
And then I'll stay on the apron and I'll tag Maverick.
Yeah.
Stay in there, kid. You're doing great.
How's that going to work? I'm just going to keep tagging.
You'll be like the guys that don't bump.
It'll be
It's the ropes and they go down to one knee.
Nope, Larry's going to be the cruiserweight. Larry's going to be the Super Bowl. Get out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get out there, kid.
I just saw Larry too. That was awesome.
I love Larry.
I saw him at Danny DeManto had a show. Danny DeManto had a show, and I went, and all of a sudden Larry's texting me, and he's talking to me, and he's like, "Look," I'm like, "What's he talking about?" All of a sudden he tapped you in the shoulder. He meant to say, "Look over there." I'm over here. He's trying to wave.
The boy's made himself quite a cottage industry out of wrestling. It really is.
Yeah. We still got to go to Geno's.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll talk.
Garrett McCormick, another one, no question. I remember going to this man's personal house to ask about the training school in the back of Chicken and Chips. Those are some dope fellas. He's right. You guys are some dope fellas.
Do you
remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
He's a good dude,
He's
man.
a real nice kid.
I don't remember that specifically because, CTE wins a lot with me. His name's Garrett, right?
Yeah, Garrett McCormick.
I talked to him a little online. He's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. Right.
He was commenting that sometimes he comments he doesn't know if he can be enough for his wife and his kid and stuff like that. I shouldn't take such personal things, but he puts it right online.
Right.
So, and he worries about being good enough for them.
He's good enough.
Listen, dude.
Yeah.
If that's all you're worried about, then you're good enough.
Yeah.
If you worry, you're good enough.
Yeah.
It means you care enough.
That's right.
you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. I remember him. He was a real nice kid.
He was. Yeah, I do remember him slightly. I do remember
I
him.
remember that. I was over at that gym. I never wanted to go get trained, but I was in the gym before watching you guys work out.
Oh, I love that gym.
Only a couple times, but still.
It was an old bakery shop or something. Remember you had the
big mixers in the corner?
The bread mixer you had to bump around. That's outside of the ring. Nobody take a bump in the bread mixer.
Yeah, don't go in that far left corner. You might be in the bread mixer.
And the big windows, they're just really only about 8 feet away from the ring. So you get too much of a head of steam. You're out in the parking lot.
See ya.
That's good.
All right. Edward Chafin, dream match. Dream match for yourselves, for themselves, back in the day, of course, and to watch in person. Why was wrestling important to them? That's the first part.
How many questions is this jabroni
He's got a couple
asking?
more. That's why I stopped there.
Jesus.
Why was wrestling important to you guys?
I'm just joking. I know who this kid is.
Do you? Yeah, I don't know. Ed.
I know.
I appreciate him asking the question.
Why did you get into it?
Why did I got into it in high school. Because when you first think about being a wrestler, typically, and I don't know about everybody, but for me, it happened when I was in high school. And you think you can mimic the things you see on TV.
Right.
So, and if you have any shred of athleticism, which before I became this fat, I did. I had a buddy of mine, my next door neighbor, Scott. Scott, you remember Scott Parker? Scotty.
I like Scott.
And Scotty and I, we used to do shit that was out of control, man.
Yeah.
We used to wrestle in front of Leechmere parking lot on the grass, a little grass, a little grass section in between. Like you walk out of a Leechmere, then you cross the road, then you have a little little grassy area. That's where we would wrestle, and we would suplex each other and do all sorts of shit into the grass when we were kids, right? And people walking in out of Leechmere, looking at them like grabbing their kids and running for the door. So that's where it started. Me and Scotty there, and then I moved on, and as I got into high school, I had a buddy of mine, Brian Korlacki, military guy now. He went, served, and he's home now. He lives here in New Hampshire with his wife. Nice. And Brian and I used to wrestle at gym class all the time, and the gym teachers used to get pissed. Yeah. He'd be like, you can't do that. You can't pile drive him like that. You're going to break his neck. I'm like, oh, no, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing. Yeah, of course we didn't know what the hell we were
exactly.
doing. But we thought we did.
Yeah. We thought it looked good.
No, I used to tell him the same thing when we wrestled. I know what I'm doing.
Just go with it. Just go with it. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And so that's where it started for me, was roughly in high school. My first wrestling match I saw, 4th grade, Brian Lavin's birthday party. Little kids. And his parents had on Channel 25 at the time. And there was a wrestling match. I couldn't tell you who the hell it was. I was just like, all the kids are outside, playing in the pool, doing all sorts of stuff. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell is this? This is amazing. And that was the first match I saw.
Wow, Channel 25, that leads me to think it was the Von Erichs.
Might have been.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I don't remember WWF being on Channel 25. I remember being on 38 and 56. And 27.
All I know is that in my senior year when I graduated, it said you put your ambition, what you want to be in life. And people put anything from firemen to this, that, and I said, to become a pro wrestler and travel the world.
Mine said it.
So I got half of that right.
Yeah.
And then I traveled the world killing things and blowing shit up on the other end of things. But if you put them together...
You did go to Mexico and Canada. You did travel a good portion of the world. That's wrestling.
Yeah, well, in the military, I traveled a lot of the world. And then in the wrestling, I traveled to Puerto Rico...
Mexico.
Canada, Mexico.
Yeah. I see other pictures.
So your one question I got to ask is what was your favorite, the favorite match you ever had? And it's sitting right next to me. I mean, there's no, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up.
No, I know you're not.
Because it's the truth.
You guys had chemistry.
And I can tell you which one it was. How's that?
Really?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Derry, New Hampshire.
No, it wasn't.
Oh!
Then it was the Speedway.
Nope.
Damn it.
Wow, see that? Well, he has higher matches in his head than you do.
St. Stan's.
I was probably at that one.
St. Stan's.
Which one, though?
You were pretty much done. You were pretty much retired.
Oh, that one?
And
Jesus.
I thought, you know why? I always thought that was our best one because that was, now Wolfman won the money and I thought, for some of the guys, it was great. For me, it was like, we're not running as many shows.
Right,
And we're not concentrating on running out and, doing nobody's running around into apartment complexes, legally papering and posting senior citizens' homes. Yeah. But, so that kind of, but every time I worked with Rip, it was something I always looked forward to. I think Jeff knew. He hung it out there like a carrot. It's like,
yeah.
He loves working with him, So, the one, it was just, you hadn't wrestled in probably almost a year, and you were just taking ticket money at the gate, but everybody knew who you were.
Right.
And you were always.
I'd sit in the back with my guns.
Yeah, that too. But I thought it was cool. But
security.
But
There you go.
Everybody knew he had wrestled before, and he was so affable. And I beat some kid up in the ring, and he came out and saved him. And somehow that led to a match with basically the guy that was working with security in the next month. And I was just like, we had a lot of guys coming in, and a lot of guys really they thought they were really good. And
Right.
Were okay, but and Rip would give them advice, and Rip was the most always there, and so I gave advice too, but Rip was always there, and they would kind of ignore Rip's advice or kind of belittle it. I'm like, you assholes, I can't even hold a candle to this guy, okay? And I just said, well, I'm gonna prove it. I said, of all the people to work with here, I don't want to work with all these fast. I don't want to work with these guys. I don't want to work with all these guys. I want to work with him again. Yeah. And
I've been out of the ring a while back.
you were, and so I remember I was worried about it. I was worried about it because you were out of shape at that point.
Yeah, I was in a shape round.
Yeah. So we had about a month, and I'm like, I don't care if I'll do it myself. I'll have the endurance if he doesn't have it. And I worked like a maniac. Yeah. But the next month we came back to do it, and he had lost about 30 pounds, and he was like, well, so look at these guns. I'm like, holy shit. And we just went out there and just
the wonders of modern medicine.
we just, yeah. There might have been a little of that too. But whatever you did to do it, you came in shape, and it was like, oh, as soon as he showed up, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fucking good. And we just tore the house down. I think I've told you this before. Rip would bleed, and he just and Rip is so affable. Is the most. I've never met anybody that you just instantly take a liking to, right? Which was why it made him so easy to work with, because you meet me and nobody instantly likes me.
I didn't like him.
No, you didn't like him.
You said that here already. You did say that.
I said it. He thought it was an asshole.
I was like, wow, this guy's a
But look at you now.
I love him.
But it ties into everything, because honestly, I saw the way Rip acted around people, and I started realizing, wow, I'm a real asshole. And meeting him was very formative for me.
Right.
He was very influential on me, especially not work ethic I already had, just how he treated people, and I just thought it was awesome. And I didn't want guys looking at him like, hey, just a security guy sitting out there. Like, we're going to show you what he can do.
Right.
And we just tore the goddamn house down. I remember one time, he's bleeding all over the place. He's outside the ring. I reach over the top of his head to grab it, and my fingers went inside the cut.
Yeah, you said that here before.
Yeah, because I'm turning around to smack him, in front of everybody. I'm just doing all four,
Wow.
I come, but we did think they came running. They had a stage. I came running off the stage and dived at him. I'm not much of a diver normally, and it was so good. I remember we followed up with a ladder match. I was like, and then I saw the ladder match on tape. I was like, wow, that was really good. How good was the other one? Holy shit.
That's wild.
It's rare you literally have people just hanging on everything you did.
Right.
And we really did that night. There's a good house. There's probably about 250, 300 people, 8 stands.
That's
wild. It was good.
That was the one that did the ass over tea kettle through the table.
Oh, Jesus.
I remember laying there and just collecting my thoughts for a little bit, and 4 guys came running over to me. I was happy they did, but I was selling it. I'm laying there like I was kind of selling it, kind of not, kind of hurt. But
so you've probably seen the old spot, the bring him in the hard way, guy standing outside the ring.
Yep.
The old ring. Well, he did it the opposite way. It wasn't even me who did it to him. Somebody tried to invade the match. Yep. He went to go get him. He got one shot. The guy grabs the ropes and he brings him out the hard way.
Jesus.
And most guys find some way to take something off that bump.
Right.
Rip hit that table. And again, we didn't make tables.
Oh, when
either.
the table
It
exploded?
just went everywhere.
It's coming up.
Everywhere. Unbelievable. And
Yeah.
it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow. You're the second person, though, that I've known that told the teacher that they were going to be a pro wrestler. The other one was Handsome Johnny.
Really?
And he told my girlfriend's cousin. She asked me one day when she found out I like wrestling. She said, do you know a kid named Todd Smith? I go, yeah, why? He was in my class. I said, he said he was going to be a pro wrestler. I said, he is, and he's great. What, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
But, I know there's a question in there, too. He was asking, what's your favorite match to watch?
Yes.
And stuff like that. Basically, I watched matches very analytically, and I was like, what can I do with everybody?
Right.
But Rip was a special case. I've told you before, I didn't trust a lot of guys
Right.
with their work. Him, all the stops were off. I
Right.
just didn't care. This guy,
Yeah.
I would pummel him mercilessly. I just pummel him mercilessly.
Lisa says, don't forget to mention the grain shovel.
That's what.
What?
How does my wife remember that?
What happened with the grain
Oh,
show?
please.
That was actually one of our. We never had a bad match, but that was actually we did have one bad tag match, and I'll get into that at some point.
Oh, yeah?
But no, we had it was actually your friend Chad.
Oh, Chad. My friend Chad.
We did a three-way. We did a three-way match, and it was what a match it was. We had to tag in and out, but we could use weapons. It didn't make much sense. Why have any rules at that point?
Right.
But I just somehow we had a grain shovel, an aluminum grain shovel. And I had this thing in my hand, and I'm looking at him.
I could tell the way he was gripping it, too.
I'm like,
fuck.
how-
He's gripping it.
How do I candy ass
He's
hitting
swinging
somebody
for the
with
fences.
a grain shovel? And the truth is, you can't candy ass somebody hitting him with a grain shovel. So
Right.
I hit him as hard as I potentially could. I have been in.
I saw stars there.
I have been in fights. I have been in actual fights where I've hit people less hard than I did
Right.
hit him that night.
Well, like I said, you
And
guys.
it did nothing to my brains. I'm fine.
But honestly, though, like being there for some of your matches, you guys did have great chemistry. You really did. And I got a list of all kinds of people that you used to work with after too. At the end. So Ed still has a couple more.
Sure.
Why did you already said why you chose it? And why do you?
Well, you didn't ask him why he got into it.
Yeah. Why did you?
I've
get into
covered
it?
this before, though. Realistically, it was two things. It was I was I was working for my father, and when you work for your father, there's always the nepotism thing.
Right.
So I wanted to get into something that had absolutely nothing to do with him.
Right.
That'll do it.
That was so.
Yeah.
My father didn't like wrestling, so he had absolutely nothing to do with it. I got so yeah, that's initially how I got into it. The interest came. My brother was in a massive car. He was hit by a car. And he was more of a wrestling fan at the time than I was, and my parents brought him at the hospital all these wrestling magazines. I started seeing guys like Carlos Colon, Abdul the Butcher,
yeah.
Dory Funk
I was a
Jr.
magazine kid, so I know all about the magazines.
Yeah.
I loved them.
You know.
I still do.
Yeah. You start seeing it from all over the place. And, honestly, when I watched wrestling locally, my favorite tag team was Rick Martel and Tony Gurria.
Yeah, they were a good team.
I liked the action guys.
Yeah.
I just always liked the action guys. I didn't like the slow thumpers. I never did.
Hey, he definitely made an upgrade from one of Jeff's old friends, Dean Ho. 'Cause Dean Ho was kind of like slow, you know what I mean? While Rick Martel, though, was fiery, a fiery baby face.
Dean had plenty of fire. I don't think you could catch him moving around like Rick Martel was.
No. All right. Let's see. I think he's got one. Worst injury that you guys got from a match.
Oh, boy. What's you?
Me, probably broken neck.
Yeah?
Yeah, C5, C6.
Against who?
Was that Bob when he hit you with the chair?
Yeah.
Bob Evans?
I think he doesn't like to talk about it.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no,
Bob's a good dude. He knows wrestling's a contact sport, guys.
Yeah, Bob used to do a little too much contact sometimes.
First time I ever seen Bob was at the Lions Hall, and he was doing the centerfold gimmick with the disposable camera. I thought that was the greatest thing, yelling at him, "You're ugly," and stuff. All the fans were yelling at him because he was a heel, pretending he was a pretty boy.
That had to do with the Jeff thing. Look at that ugly son of a bitch.
That was so
You're the
funny.
centerfold.
Well, what did you guys tell me? He said about the Tony Roy. You need a mask.
Yeah.
Good looking kid, but he needs a mask.
Yeah, always.
Jesus. Poor kid.
All right, listen. Larry came back to talk to the guy, Ed. Ed, I watched them in Nashville from the locker room. Ripper was towards the end of his wrestling days. He was hurting, but him and Mav tore the place down. I remember Rip getting thrown over the top rope, threw a table on the floor. The table literally exploded, and the noise. Wow.
That was the thing. It was like,
Larry's got a good memory.
it almost sounded like there was a percussion drum under the table.
Wow.
It just, there were pieces everywhere.
Right.
And I'm like, you didn't just break it. You disturbed that table on a molecular level.
Right. Well, here's not a love letter, but an ode to you, Rip, from Dan Tanaka. Rip gave me advice when I was still relatively new and a new face to Lobster Man's AWA, 2003. I had much longer hair back then, and while it was tied back, he felt if Jeff saw it, he would have an issue with it. Rip's advice was tuck your hair into the back of your shirt. You'll still have it, but it will be concealed. From that point on, every show, no matter where it was, I had my hair tucked into the back of my shirt. Some others were disappointed not seeing my tailed back hair flop and fly around. Who wants to see that, Dan? I mean, really? I'm just kidding, Dan. I love Dan. I had to bust him. No, but in the back of my shirt. Some others were disappointed not seeing my tail back hair flop around, but I believed it helped me in the long run. Thank you, Rip. I wouldn't have thought of doing such a thing back then. So, Dan's a good dude, too.
Yeah, he was always.
Sorry, Dan, I'm just teasing.
Dan's a great. Dan, you're an excellent ref and you're an excellent human being.
Yes, he is. He's back. He was out in Michigan for a while. He got married. He was out in Michigan. Now he's back. He's reffing for WFA. He's refereeing a lot of places, man. Doing good work.
He's
a good ref.
Yeah. I remember him starting out and seeing him years later, and I was very impressed with.
Yeah, he's really good.
He picked up everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, he's really good. And I had to tease him. Who wants to see that?
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
All right, Zach Zamzow. Now, sometimes I want to know if that's his real name.
He's got a. Is it
Michael Zamzow, right? Yeah. Okay.
So that's.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Oh my God! I used to watch these two go at it when I was a kid at AWA shows that Jeff Costa used to put on. Great memories. This question is for the both of you. Can you name a favorite match of yours, either with each other or other opponents?
So I already.
You already said that, but then maybe give him one of other opponents too, maybe, after.
I don't know.
You didn't have any good matches with anybody else.
No, that's not true. Because there was always,
Jeff was always a good.
It's his favorite match.
Jeff was always a good match, a different kind of match.
Right.
Yeah, it was always good.
There's always Gary the Couch Cadalis.
Yep.
Oh,
Gary the Couch. Yep.
Still haven't got him here. And I don't see him at Walmart anymore.
No, I don't think he works there anymore, from what I heard.
I had my shot, man, and didn't get it.
Love Gary.
Bob was always a good match. Bob always, everybody always wanted to kill Bob, but Bob was always a really good match. There's no really denying it.
I got to put Dave and Dean off onto the side. That one sucked.
Oh,
Powers?
God,
The Power Twins?
Yeah.
And then there was that Rocky
Raymond.
Oh, that one
Rocky
sucked.
Raymond.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Raymond, yeah.
Yeah, no, we couldn't have just one bad Rocky. We had to have two.
Yeah.
Well, listen, allegedly Rocky sells fake merchandise at the New England Fan Fest.
Well, I don't know.
Allegedly.
No, it was Randall. Was it Randall?
Randall Ripley. Oh,
Randall Ripley. That was it. And oh my God, he was
Had the walk.
He thought he was like a
Military guy.
German soldier, and he came out with a walk on his head.
Yeah, he came out with a Vietnamese military helmet, like a walk.
Yeah. And his tag team partner had face paint, and it was like
alternate
sidewalk
warrior.
chalk. Yeah.
The alternate word.
It was the what? The alternate
That's
warrior?
that's where he first started calling people the alternate warrior. Yep.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes, we worked with plenty of good guys. Sometimes the guys that weren't all that great.
I remember the bad matches, like way more than some of the good ones.
I should actually bring that up. I remember this terrible tag team match we all had, and it had no reason to be terrible. It was you and Jeff. He was the Lobster Man. You were the Crab Man or Lobster Man 2. Yep.
Yep.
And I was tag
Was
teaming
that at the
with
Nashville High School?
No, that was at Hudson Lions Club.
Okay.
And then it was on the other side. It was Paul, Brian Fury, and Justin.
That should have been good.
Justin McIsaac.
So it should have been fine, right? This match was I'm sorry if you're not supposed to say this word on air. That was the biggest abortion of a match I've ever been in.
The shits.
Say
the shits.
Terrible.
Say the shits. No.
And it shouldn't have been.
Terrible. There was no reason. I remember I got in the ring. I was so mad halfway through the match because it was bad. I just started kicking the crap out of everybody.
Did Brian Fury have his Bengal tights back then?
No, they were. This was Jeff, and this was the age of the rip-off gimmicks.
Wait, but did you give him the Bengal tights?
Yeah, but but this one was better.
Yeah.
Jeff wanted conquistadors, so
yeah.
I found where to get gold lame, zip-up, spandex suits.
I remember the conquistadors.
And Justin and Brian Fury were the conquistadors number 3 and 4.
Yes.
And I believe Paul was under the La Parca mask.
Oh, gee, yeah.
He was L.A. Parker. He was. I don't know. It didn't really matter. The match was drizzling shits. It was
How
terrible.
many different characters of Rip did you wrestle? Did you wrestle Blitz?
Yeah.
I wrestled
Did you?
Blitz.
I was told that you could have been the blood-sucking alien.
I wrestled him. You know what's odd? Yeah, actually, it's odd. He became the blood-sucking alien on a lot of shows. I was the first one to be the blood-sucking alien. You know.
You were, and I punched you right in the brain.
Oh, that was a good match.
But I only did it because I had this mental telepathy, like he was almost telling me to punch him in the brain.
You remember the old movie Mars Attacks?
Yeah, of course I do.
Jeff would come up with the craziest ideas, and I love Jeff, but his follow-through did not exist.
Right.
It just did not. He'd come up with an idea, and then it would just expect it to happen.
Yeah.
The title changes and then giving the belts back to the people, too, right? Didn't he do that a few times?
Yeah, but I don't know.
The Phantom title change.
But the blood-sucking alien one was like, we're going to do that. You're going to wrestle as a blood-sucking alien. Okay. So I show up the night of the show. He's like, where's your gear? I'm like, I don't know. Where is it? This is your idea. So we had to send Monica down to the costume shop. And all she could find for like alien
Mars
gear was
Attacks.
we found the old Mars Attacks hood with that big piled up brain that looks like Marge Simpson's hairdo.
Yeah.
And I got a glittery robe on and a toy laser gun, and it was terrible. I'm out there, so we're in the ring, and he grabs me. He grabs me at the top of the head. Now remember, that thing is
Head's up to here.
First of all, the thing wouldn't stay on. So one of the few times this guy ever got his revenge on me for pain was like, I know how to keep it on. And he took a stapler and went, wham into my neck. And I couldn't complain because I'd heard him so many times over the years.
So you couldn't say nothing.
No, what am I going to say, all right? So I'm out there, and you got that much empty space between the top of the mask, and he grabs me on the top of the head, don't sell this. He hits me in the brain, and of course,
Of course he sells it.
go flying
Oh, my God.
I think Jeff came out and said, rip that freaking thing off of him.
Yeah, he did. It was,
Jeff was pissed. He
it
was
was
like,
two
"Rip that off
things.
of him."
It was two things. Somebody in the crowd said, do you realize how stupid you look at that thing? And then Jeff immediately from the back, get that thing off him.
What about the one where we wanted to do the thing was it you that he wanted to make the remote control wrestler? Where he had somebody out there with a
He tried
Atari
talking me into
joystick?
it, Sonny into it.
Yeah, he tried talking.
No, so who ended up doing it?
I don't think it happened.
No, see, as much as you saw out of Jeff for weird gimmicks,
There's a lot you didn't.
the ones that we put the kibosh on.
Yeah,
oh my God,
some were tough.
Jeff, you can't do that. I mean, you're going to have protest groups here.
You'd get calls at 2 a.m, like leaving on your message on the machine, like, remember this. And he'd leave like a long thing, and then he'd like go to bed.
Yeah,
and then you'd bring it up to him the next day or a week later, and he'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Sonny said the same thing. Yeah.
Willie from the woods.
Yeah, Willie from the woods.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah. What is Willie? I don't know. I don't know Willie.
Jeff was amazing.
But I mean, I think it's so funny he had the roller skating match, and neither one of them knew how to roller skate.
Well,
Sonny
no,
or
they knew how
Pinky?
to roller skate. That's bullshit. He was in it.
I was
you
good
were
roller
in it?
skate. Oh, I was good roller
Well,
skate.
who was it? You against Pinky?
Yeah,
Okay.
Pinky grabbed. He couldn't find roller skates, so he found a little
Bike.
child's bike.
Yeah.
And then, but at first he had inline skates.
Okay.
Which is even harder than roller
Right.
skating. And he pulled me down. He came from behind me, and he started to lose his balance, and he grabbed at whatever he saw, and it was the back of my shirt. And as he was coming down, he pulled me right down, right on my coccyx. I fractured my ass bone that day, and I had to work that night doing that match. I had a busted ass bone.
Right.
That sucked.
Christ.
Oh yeah, and then he didn't even use the inline skates. He used with Mama.
Yeah.
Mama, and he had like a little kid's bike.
That's hilarious.
And that was because we had to come up with, what are we going to do for a roller derby death match? And I'm like, well, we got to make a track.
Right.
I'm like, all right, well, why do we do that? I said, well, we can get the tables, the 4 foot or the 6 foot tables, put them on their sides, and that would make like a barrier, right? So and then we just have to make it there, and then the end of the thing would be the walls of the building. I suppose we could do that.
So the Hudson Lions Club, and I've said this before, they had a garage door. We all changed in the garage, and there were cracks in the garage door. And whenever Jeff had one of these really bone matches, we'd all be at the door looking at the crack. I was like, oh, he made another lap.
He made another lap. Nice.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. I think we've almost avoided the question on what the best match. I guess
Yeah.
the best matches I've had were with Mav. I mean,
Yeah.
hands down. I mean,
He said that
I
about
really
you.
liked the Speedway match. I thought I was in better shape. I mean, Maverick was always in fantastic shape, but
Right.
I was in much better shape at the time. I'd really committed to working out and hitting the gym, and I thought, I was working in trunks at that point. And I felt better. It felt like it was a much better, and there were a lot of people, and that was good. And then I had a couple of matches in Mexico that were fun. Worked at a Mexican prison. That was different. That was different.
Yeah. You guys had
I
to
don't
protect
necessarily
Jen
know
that night,
that
huh?
was my favorite match. We had to protect Jen.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was my favorite match because there
Right.
were people, prisoners, wanting to
Yeah.
do things to my bum, and I wasn't having that.
Right.
But not just me. There were
No,
multiple.
I know.
There were
Yeah, yeah.
multiple wrestlers there that they were looking
didn't
at.
you go out there and gay it up?
Yes.
Did you really? Oh my God.
I should
That's
have done that.
hilarious.
Yeah, well,
In a Mexican
In a Mexican prison.
prison, gaying it
Okay,
up. Yeah,
this guy is so tough. He's going into a Mexican prison.
Yeah.
And I just told the guy, I said, listen, you all are laughing. I said, but they just confiscated all of our IDs at that gate. And now we're in this prison and nobody knows who we are or where we're from or what we've done. And they can make up and say anything about you.
Wow.
And I think I told Paul and a couple of the other guys, I said, don't fuck off. Don't fuck around. But what do? I go out there and I start acting like oh yeah, they could have easily planted
Before
my
anybody
ass
gets
right there.
offended by that,
Oh no!
like,
no,
can
not
you
a gay
imagine
thing. No.
going into a prison, and a normal prison? and
Normal
acting like
prison.
that,
Not
all
even
right?
a Mexican one.
Now go to one where they're raising their own chickens for food. Okay,
Yeah.
seriously, which is
It
what
was
they
family
do
day
there.
at the prison.
Yeah.
All of the wives, the kids.
all came
it
to the
was all
wrestling
there. It
show?
was family day at the prison.
Nice.
Hey, they got a good way of doing shit over there.
Now, were they behind fences or anything like that, or were they like sitting in
they were
bleachers?
just they had a little area, like a 4 foot area
Yeah.
from the edge of the ring out, kind of quarantined off, and then they just kind of went right up to it all the way around. They could have got shivved easy.
Right.
Yeah, that was the day that Teneblis and Teneblis Senior were there. They
Yeah.
were there. Aluche, the
Yep.
little guy, and one of the workers was getting undressed, and we're in real tight quarters. And he's getting undressed, and as he pulled his skivvies down, like in front of everybody, which I thought was kind of weird because we're sitting in a small circle like
Right.
this. And he stands up from his chair, turns around, and pulls his skivvies down to get into his undertrunks or whatever. And as he pulls his whiteies down, he's got like literally a melted chocolate bar. in his thing. And I'm not saying like a racist
Right.
shred. I mean like if you grabbed a regular sized chocolate bar and it melted
himself.
in your underwear, that's what it looked like. And and I look over and I see this, and Teneblis Senior and Junior are sitting on either side of him, and they both look over at him, at his underwear, and they look up at each other, and I'm nudging Jeff next to me, like, look at him. Jeff is dying. I can't say just because I want to protect the innocent.
Oh, God.
Names will be withheld to protect the innocent. But we had it.
He wasn't with you guys, was he?
Oh, no, yeah, he was one of us.
He was one of you.
Oh,
guys.
really? I didn't know that part of it.
He's one of the boys.
I think I know who it is. I'm going to say it on the air. I think I know who it might have been.
Say it.
I'm not gonna.
Don't say it.
I promise. I'll say it off here, though.
However, as a contest, if anybody out there can guess who it was,
I'll get you 2 wrestling magazines.
you get to come on the show with me in a month.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my God.
So, but you do remember the bad matches a lot, especially when you're first breaking in.
Can I ask you guys something? I always thought Egghead was pretty entertaining. I'm serious.
Eggy, yeah.
I thought, and I saw people at the shows that would make fun of him, but I thought he could work.
He was.
What do you guys think? Seriously.
He was actually athletic for limited amounts of time. He
Yeah.
didn't have a huge amount of endurance. was
Right,
the problem.
right.
And the one
Right.
thing about him is he didn't, and it which is very rare, because a lot of times young kids when they come in to the business, they put a certain machismo to what they're doing,
Right.
And they feel like there's a tough guy, you know.
He
He
was
didn't have
humble.
that.
No, he was a
very
humble kid.
and he
He
was,
was a
a very
humble kid.
respectful, humble kid, and he didn't take what he did too seriously,
Right.
You know, and
Right.
then maybe it was because he was labeled with the egghead gimmick early on,
Right.
and he knew it was a comical type gimmick. But you can still have a comical gimmick,
no
but go
doubt.
in there and work your
Oh,
ass
yeah,
off,
he
you know?
did.
And I thought, you know, I never had a problem with
I
him.
always enjoyed his matches. I did.
You know what? I used to enjoy seeing him over at Market Basket at the butcher shop in the meat department. I used to go over there and say hello to him all the time.
Right.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Good kid.
Awesome. Guys, let's talk about some guys you worked with. Did you have something you want to say? You sure?
I did want to say one
Yeah.
thing. I did want to say one thing, and it's getting back to your favorite opponents again thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I also do want to add, like, you know, I've been in the ring with guys like Doug Williams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it wasn't as good
Antonio
as working
Thomas.
with him. It wasn't as good as working with him. And I love Antonio. Don't get
Right,
it wrong
right,
if you're
right,
out there.
right. No, I hear you.
But it was never as good as working with Rip. You know, And
Guys had chemistry, man, and
Yeah,
that says something, though. You know.
yeah, it was awesome to work with him. All right, I'll let you ask questions. I'm sorry.
Listen, I want to bring up a guy that we did a special on,
Okay.
Butcher Kevin Hughes.
To work with him?
Oh God, he was the best. The winner, cheating bastard.
He just wrestling him. I only worked with Kevin twice. You probably worked with him more than that.
A few times.
Yeah, everything was an adventure. You weren't having a match; you were having an adventure with Kevin.
Right.
You know, I think I described it early, like a couple of weeks ago. Somehow, like the rack of chairs get put in the ring in the Hudson Lions Club, and instead of like just throwing them, like Kevin's like chasing Scott Dickinson around the ring, just going, "Ma, ma," and throwing the chairs outside the ring, and Scott's gonna try and outrun these chairs that keep flying at him, and he would get on. I stole it from him. He'd get on the top rope and he'd sit there like a vulture. He'd bounce, and people would walk out. People who had never met him were like, "What is his problem?" And we'd look at him like, "I don't know. What's your problem?" It's Kevin. Kevin's awesome.
I've seen Kevin. Kevin had an unbelievably big heart.
Yeah.
He did.
You'd always get a Christmas card from him and Fluffy.
Yeah.
Cat.
Yeah.
You'd always send a Christmas card. I mean, he would do things that you just wouldn't, that guys that you knew in the business didn't do, because if you were his friend, it meant a lot.
Right.
And that carries a lot of weight with me, he always, there was nothing I wouldn't do for Kevin.
He gave me 2 videotapes, right? The villains and the good guys of the 50s. and I'm like, well, Kev, take some for yourself. You know what I mean? Because I'm at my table. He's like, no, I just wanted to give them to you. I'm like, well, I appreciate it. But you sure you don't want something? So Wolfie's kids would come over. I'd be like, all right, take whatever you want, guys. Good. I would I did. I always gave Wolfie's kids loose wrestling
You shouldn't have done that. He's rich. You should have hit that bastard up.
Hey, she should have paid me. No, I'm just kidding, Wolfie. I love you. Wolfie's a good man. When someone passes away, he always lets me know he's going to, mention them in his mass and stuff. Seriously, he's a really good dude, man. You guys obviously know that anyways.
Yeah.
How about we're gonna go through some of the people that you guys wrestled with.
Sure.
A guy a lot smaller than you guys. The Mighty Minnie.
Mighty Minnie.
You remember the Mighty Minnie?
Yeah. I worked with Minnie probably a lot more than he did.
Right.
I had very good matches with Minnie.
Dude, he could work for a small, skinny little kid, man. That's when I realized you don't have to be a monster to be able to be a good wrestler.
Minnie's,
I really liked him and Andre Lyons.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot.
I used to like every once in a great while, you wouldn't tell somebody you were going to put him over, and you just do it in the middle of the ring. And I did it with him one time. He was like, "What happened?"
I actually found I found my old book for numbers.
Yeah.
For all the boys when I'd call them to when I was booking shows and stuff, and I found
Mighty Minnie's, yeah.
said Minnie, and then Lions was not too far down below it.
I went to see Mighty Minnie get inducted into the Chaotic Wrestling Hall of Fame. That's why I went. I went that night to see that. You know what I mean? Because I was a big fan of his. And again, Andre Lyons. I have a nice picture of me, my daughter Sarah, who's like 2 years old, and Andre Lyons in the bathroom at St. Stan's in the boys' room. The three, and I'm like, Andre, take a picture with us in the bathroom.
Andre was remarkably tough because his knees were gone before mine were. I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
He was barely in his 20s.
One of his
and still
last
had no
matches
knees.
was in the Super 8. If it wasn't his last
Yeah,
match,
he had no cartilage in at least one knee. It was bad.
he could work too, boy.
Yeah. Sometimes the pain gets to be a little too much, though.
Oh, I can. Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any idea, man. I'm no athlete. All right, how about oh yeah,
Oh, Dr.
Doc
Harris.
Harrison. Oh yeah.
Ooh, Doc. Doc's one of my best friends, actually.
Yeah, love Doc.
You need to get him in here, man.
He
need to
lives
get
all the
him
way
in.
in Springfield.
Yeah, he lives out in the middle of.
I know, but I thought he liked me.
He
I'm
does
just
like
kidding.
you.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to guilt them, guys.
Oh,
I'm
you should
trying to
see how we
guilt them.
talk about you
Good,
behind your back.
I look forward to his movie reviews.
Oh yeah. He goes with TC with Tanya,
Yeah.
and Bobby Ocean always goes too. Yeah, and then some people I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys remember Mike Mondo working for Jeff one night? He came with Kenny Bolin. Remember the night Kenny Bolin?
Yeah,
I was standing there behind the table, and the show's already started. All of a sudden, I see him walk in. I'm like, it's freaking Kenny Bolin and Mike Mondo. What the? I was shocked.
I didn't realize he actually, Mondo worked on the show. I didn't
Yeah, I didn't know.
remember.
I didn't remember.
Yep, he did.
I do. I remember Kenny Bolin being there.
Yeah.
I like Kenny Bolin. You know.
Yeah.
And his kid was okay.
Oh, he pulls a lot of scams on, like from I think a supermarket or something. He's got this scam he pulls, allegedly. I learned that a long time ago on that court episode we did here.
Yeah.
I had to say allegedly a lot. Even Nick, the lawyer, said, "Hey, you're learning," because I said allegedly. All right. Do you guys remember Coco Beware being on the shows? He was on a couple of Jeff shows.
Jeff has better. You have better stories about Coco than I do.
I really like Coco. Yeah, I felt bad when his bird died in the fire.
Yeah, well, no doubt.
He runs a, I don't know if he still does, but him and his family, they ran a sheetrock business.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he was doing decent, you know.
Right.
Just like Barb, Barbarian. He was
Barbarian,
doing
yeah.
road work, like patchwork and laying down roads and stuff.
I remember
Tar stuff.
that he was working behind a table one day, and I went up to him and said, "Hey man, you still play basketball?" He said, "How'd you know?" I said, "I read it somewhere, dude. It's not hard to read." But I mean, he just was so nice, the Barbarian.
Oh yeah.
Incredible guy. And Coco Bier.
Talked to Greg last week on the phone. I called him. Finally got a hold of Greg.
Oh yeah. Nice.
I've been calling him for a year. I said, "You prick." I said, "I've been calling you for a fucking year. Next time I call you, better pick up the phone." And then I called. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I saw something that just kind of brought a tear to my eye. Well, I was watching on TV, and I refused to say what it was.
Yeah.
But I thought of Greg, so I called. It was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and he picked up. Ripper! And I was like, "Oh shit, he's up."
Nice.
He was on the road somewhere on a Friday night.
I'm telling you right now,
autographs.
that's the guy that should have been a world champion. Seriously.
There's a guy.
He should have got a run.
There's a guy I loved working with. There's a guy who just, as long as you didn't approach it like you were working with one of the younger guys here
Right.
in the area, where they're going to want to bing, 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 Greg was complete. Greg, you just walked up, you walloped him as hard as you could, and he just walloped you back even harder. And he was very, very easy to work. I loved working with him because he was so intense. He really was. You don't think so because he's sitting there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emotion on his face,
Right.
right? He's just so intense in the ring and just take you apart. He was so good.
This kid I went to high school with, punched him in the face at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium. And the cops grabbed him, right? The cops dragged him, and Greg starts to go towards him and then turns around, goes back to the ring, then changes his mind and runs the guy down, hits him from behind, starts kicking him. Cops got the kid, I run out. Cops got him like this. You want to be a tough guy? Smacking his faces. He's like this as they're walking him out the door. Smack, smack. Oh,
See,
yeah.
now, you know what?
Donnie Frazier.
That pisses me off hearing that, because I'm going to tell you now, Greg used to stay with me when he used to come here and work.
Yep.
And he used to stay at my house in the spare bedroom over on West Hollis Street. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning after a show. And we were sitting there and we were just watching like the reruns of the baseball, because he's a big baseball fan.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and I had my porch where you'd walk in from the West Hollis Street side and you could walk straight out the back into my backyard. 2 doors.
Right.
I would lock the screen door leading out to the street so my German Shepherds wouldn't jump out there. And when I got home, they'd been locked up all day, so I had the back door open and they were out in the backyard running around doing their thing.
Yeah.
Shitting, pissing, doing their thing. And I'm sitting in the living room with Greg and we're watching the reruns of the baseball. Next thing you know, dogs are going nuts and they're starting to bark at a real weird bark that I'm not used to hearing.
Right.
Well, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning on like a Saturday night or into Sunday morning. So I go out to the porch and I look, I get up from my chair and I look back through the kitchen onto the porch, and there's some fucking kid walks across my porch. Some guy. And he starts banging on the door to get out. Now, he can't get out because it's locked, and he's obviously
inebriated.
Something, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I go out there and I go to grab me, and he starts mouthing off, and he was mouthing off pretty bad. So I grab him, I throw him, I open the door, I grab him, I throw him onto the street. I go down there, I pick him up, throw him up against my house, and I grab him, and I'm about to punch him, and I'm yelling to Lisa. I said, "Call the cops." I said, "I'm going to kill this kid." and he starts mouthing off again. And this time he's like, "You're not going to be here, and I'll come back when you're not here." And now my wife's crying.
Wow.
Bad move. Don't make my wife scared that you're going to come back, because now I'm on the road. That year we were on the road a lot on the weekends.
Right. Yeah.
And now my wife's crying. She's scared. This kid's acting up. So Greg comes out and he's like, Ripper, relax, Ripper, relax. Just let the kid go. Just take it easy. Don't do anything to him.
Voice of reason.
Yeah, right? And then you're telling me, when, he's probably my age.
Dude, I couldn't believe it.
He grabs the kid and he's like, "Smarten up and get the fuck out of here." And he grabs those big Land of the Lost Chaka Slee Stack hand that he had.
His hands on you.
Question I've ever heard.
Yeah, and he cuffed him right in the air and he blew the kid's eardrum. I heard it pop.
Wow.
And the kid starts crying and he falls down and he's like crawling away out the driveway. And then he turns around and he mouthed off and he said some more stuff. And then I lost it. And he's like, "Just let you know," but he's telling me, "Let the kid go." And he blows his eardrum, lets him go. Let him go.
Land of the Lost Sleep.
So I chased the kid down now.
Right.
And what was that side street that came up by Jeff's house there, right on the right?
Oh, I don't know the name of the street.
Anyway, by the time I caught up to him, I was barefoot and in my underwear.
Yeah.
So I run on the street, West Hall Street, pretty busy on a weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm in my underwear. And I run and I catch up to him barefoot, and I get him right at that corner of that thing right on the main road. And I just stopped pounding his face. I just stopped. My hand, it hit his cheekbone and it just went in. I think it went to the back of his brainstem. I broke his jaw I broke his jaw a couple of places.
Wow.
And then I grabbed his gold chain. I ripped it off, threw it into the road, grabbed his Red Sox hat, threw that in the road. And I lost all faith in humanity that day. Because I got to tell you, I was beating this kid nearly to death.
Yeah.
And there were multiple people that drove by. Not one person stopped.
No, they were like, "Yeah, you're in your underwear. That's probably why."
Well, still, but not one person stopped to save that man.
No, right.
And I almost killed him.
Really, Rip. So you're saying that nobody wanted to stop when a man built like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in his tighty whities, maybe not so tight at that point,
Maybe not too white.
maybe not too
No,
whitey,
okay.
is
Was it your end? I'm just
is pummeling somebody on the side of the road at 2 o'clock in the morning. Who wants to pull over and deal with that?
Yeah, well,
Maybe pull over and watch from a distance. This is kind of
Well, the
interesting.
cop showed up, right? And so now the kid, I don't know how he stumbled off, but he did. And the cop showed up, and I just said, yeah, I said, you might want to check the hospitals close by or whatever, because I put a beating on this kid that broke into my house.
Here, give him these or his teeth.
I told him I was being honest. I said he broke into my house.
Yeah. So I beat him up.
threw him a couple of shots, and then I threw him out the door, and then he left. So I don't know what happened to him, where he went.
Right.
And he heard me tell my wife to call the cops. Well, no problem, Mr. Valancourt. You're all set. No problem.
Nice.
If we find him, you'll be okay. And I never heard about it again. So.
Well, it does. It's good
But
to tell the
pisses
truth,
me
though.
off-
And, you know,
what pisses me
it's
off,
true.
aside from my lack of that, losing all faith in humanity, Greg, that story you just said about Greg.
Yeah, that was horrible for him. As a kid, punched him right in the face for no reason.
Right.
No reason.
But he didn't he had a match to go to.
I know exactly. But
And
that
took
kid
the
paid the
time.
price.
He
The
took the
cops beat
time
The cops beat him.
to lay a little bit of a beat down on the kid because he deserved it.
Yeah, he
Now,
did.
The guy that broke into my house,
Donnie, you did deserve it.
Now the guy that broke into my house, he desperately deserved to get his
Oh,
ass
yeah,
beat, and
no
ultimately
doubt.
he did.
Yep,
To be
yep,
fair,
yep,
he
yep.
did.
But the voice of reason, Greg Valentine,
yeah.
tried to stop him.
With his chalk in hand, breaks his eardrum and says, "That's it." Well, why does he get to have all the fun?
All right. Now, this is why I don't come on here with more modern wrestling, all right?
Oh, God.
No young guy has these fun stories.
No, it's true.
None of them. This is half the reason I did Jeff shows.
Yeah.
Because always all these really bizarre stories would come out.
All right, so I'm
There
going
ain't too many people that remember what Land of the Lost is.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up a name that when he wrestled under this name, I thought he was horrible. And now he's trained almost a lot of people, guys like MJF and stuff. Rooster.
Rooster. I don't know.
Are
if
you
he-
star? Yeah.
Rooster.
I don't think did he work for
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah,
I saw
he
his
worked
number
a
in my
couple
book.
times.
I saw his number too.
He did.
I saw his number in the
Buck.
book.
Pat Buck.
Yeah.
But I didn't think, to his defense, he was brand new. Do you
He
know what
was
I mean?
from
Like,
Providence, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know where
Yeah, he
he's
was.
Oh, yeah, well,
he
he's
was,
from New York now.
Kind of one of Bob's guys.
He's the owner of
really.
Creator Pro, where kids like Chris Statlander, MJF, TJ Crawford.
He was a-
They've
I
trained
didn't
a
mind.
lot of
I
good
didn't mind
kids.
him. He was polite to me.
He was a very polite, nice
No,
guy.
no, I bet he was.
Yeah. Tiny. He was,
Yeah.
when I first met him, he
Yeah.
weighed
Yes.
about 150 pounds.
Yeah, I used to boo him like
Yeah.
crazy.
I used to call the kid all the time to try to get him to come up and work, but he could only work like certain days. It was weird.
Yeah,
He had a weird
yeah.
schedule.
He works for AEW now.
But I used to call the shit out of Are You Star, Rue, whatever the hell
Right.
you go by.
Yeah.
I used
And he
to call
worked
you
for
all the time.
WWE for a while, too.
He can, if he recalls, he'll remember. I used to call him. I liked him.
Yeah. Johnny Curtis,
Oh,
who I think just finished up with TNA, right? I think he was finishing up with them.
Johnny in
Yeah, he was going by JDC.
the last
that
time
was
I
his
saw
name.
Johnny Curtis was actually. God,
He could work, man.
well, we're laughing our ass off. Now I'm going to bring up something horrible. The last time I saw Johnny Curtis was actually the day Kid Crazy died. We were all visiting him in the hospital, and we left him. Afterwards. He had died a couple hours later, I believe.
Right.
So we'd bring the show down there, Leo.
No, well, I will say this, though. I felt like a superstar that day at his wake because his mother comes in, right? All the wrestlers there, and she looks at me and goes, I know who you are, because he was on my show. She watched the show. She didn't know anybody else, or she probably knew you. Okay. But, yeah, it was pretty fun. I just thought that was kind of cute. It was funny.
So
she was very nice.
So I'm going to ask you, what do you think of Kid Crazy? Do you remember him?
I do.
Yeah.
That kid could work.
He could work his ass off.
Sure could.
He fell to me, and I know you knew him way better than I did, but to me, he fell into that category of people that would get advice from the guy that's no longer taking bumps, because that's when he started to come around a little bit more, and he was, there were some things that I brought up to him that I thought were inappropriate, that I thought he should kind of chill out. Now to his defense, I brought up the same things to Brutus Beefcake, and he basically told me to go fuck myself too. So, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? But ultimately, it was like, I brought up like, hey, the guy that's running these shows, he's a religious dude. We're at St. Stan's Hall. It's a religious thing.
Right.
And he said, you can't be out there underage pounding booze or pounding beers out in the back, even though it's after. I get it. I drank beer. I started drinking beers when I was 12. I was an alcoholic by 14.
Wow.
I stopped drinking around 22, 23, and then I started drinking again when wrestling, and then I stopped drinking altogether again when I started, whatever. But I get it, and I understand after having a great match or having the adrenaline pumping, you want to have a cold beer. I typically have no problem with that, and if it's done within the right confines, I don't have a problem with it.
Right.
But in that particular instance, I pulled him aside and I asked him politely, and he was very disrespectful to me. And then I talked to Mav, and Mav talked to him, and everything was cool since.
Right.
But that was like, unfortunately, that was like the one main thing that I can recall of him, and that saddens me because everybody that knows him loved him.
Right.
And and it's like. The one time I talked to him, like on a
but you gave him good advice, though.
I was being, I just told him, I said, you can't do that, dude.
Right.
And he blew me off, and he kept doing it anyway. So I had to go back again, and then if I have to go back again, it's not going to be polite. It's going to be pack that shit up and get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And that's what it ended up coming down to, and I felt bad because. Then I knew, everybody loved the kid, and I'm sure he was a great kid.
But everybody knew that happened with him a lot too, because he just, he had his.
But Mav can attest. I understand demons. Trust me.
Oh yeah, no, I hate me too.
My mom died on my birthday when I was a young kid. I had an alcoholic father. I joined the military at a very young age. Saw a lot of shit that you probably don't want to see at that age, and I dealt with a lot of it in different ways. So I know demons, trust me.
Yep.
But still, I mean, Mav can tell you, I'm a respectful person. If I respectfully ask you, or I give you, I'm giving you an opportunity.
Yep.
And it sucked. It bummed me out because everything I heard about the kid after that was how great of a kid he was.
The kid liked me for some reason, man. I really wish we could have did more, but there was a reason why I didn't do more, though.
He was always such a good guy, but unfortunately, there was too much substance there.
Well, we went Facebook Live one time, and I didn't realize it until like halfway through it that he was shit-faced.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would have loved to have done more with him because he was an entertaining kid.
Yeah.
He really, really was. Who wasn't afraid to talk trash about anybody. Anybody. He'd feel it.
Oh, God.
He was.
He had constant "I hate you" diarrhea.
Yeah. Did you ever work for Mike Spada?
Did you? I don't think so.
No.
Because he has the best Spada story. Spada, kid crazy. I don't even want to see your face. Don't show up. And then they'd call an hour later. Yeah, and I'll be there like 5:30. I'll see you at 5:30, kid.
We would have dealt a little more with Fred Sparta.
Oh yeah.
We don't have
the
time.
Ref.
We don't have time to get into the promotional war between Fred Sparta and Jeff Costa.
All right, guys. Listen, there's like a minute. I want to give just at least a couple more names. Captain USA, Dan.
Danny.
Danny Patigno.
I miss Danny.
Yes.
Our school teacher.
That's what he is, a school teacher?
He was a school teacher at one point, yeah.
That's cool.
Artist.
Big an artist. Yeah.
Real good artist.
Love Danny.
Oh, look at it. That's awesome. All right, how about Iron Man? Tim Walker, you brought him here.
I love
Few people have the strength and the tenacity and the loyalty of Tim Walker.
Yeah, he really was. He was great. He was great to work with.
Timmy.
Just
Right.
hard nosed, head down work always.
Yeah, always.
Adam Booker.
I like Adam. Adam's my very liberal friend.
Yeah, I like Adam.
Adam's I believe he's a school teacher now.
Really?
I always liked Adam.
Good for him.
I always tried to give him a push within things, and always tried to. And I liked him. I liked his work ethic. I liked his work in the ring. And he used to come with some girl. What was the girl that used to be?
Christine was her name.
She was super. Like she seemed really dedicated to it.
Yeah. Adam can work. Guys, thanks for coming on, man.
No problem.
I love it, man. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Lee.
Awesome to
Thank
see you
you.
guys too. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays,
I'm glad
everybody.
we got to do this. Peace. Ho, ho, ho.
Hi, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Listen, I could use a little help to grow my YouTube channel. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe. That's most importantly, subscribe. Send me a direct message, and I'll give you a shout out here on the show. My YouTube channel is real simple. It's just my name, Leo Connors. Thanks in advance. Peace.